In the last day of May this year, I believe that people heard and read the article about Lloyd George. According to an article by Prabhat published on CNN Channel, an African American man was dead during an address in Minnesota. After that, the protest spread across the U.S. and internationally. Besides the peaceful protest receiving the supporter, there are people who took this protest for personal purposes, such as looting, breaking the store, and fighting. So today I will explore how violence affects our society and discuss acts of violence and peaceful protests, why the issue continue and what are the solutions for that. We first talk about purposes of protest. Based on an article published by Joshua West on the Path University, the protest is to call attention for a problem that has been ignored. Protests have the government listening to their opinions and understanding what problems citizens have, and then find the best solution for it. Also, the author of article "Do Protests Even Work?" said that protests can show the strength of community. However, by the time the protests have passed further than its meaning, people start to use violence such as stopping the traffic, break the store, looting, and starting the fight. So those acts are against the laws. That is not the protest, because it cannot convey the demand and as well as take the solution for that problem they want. Violence protests happen in other countries around the world. If currently in the US, we have protested for social justice. In the last year in Hong Kong, they have protested for political issues. Firstly, it's just a peaceful protest, but then the protest becomes a fight between citizens and police, and even there were people dead. So why people need to use violence instead of peaceful protest? It's because when peaceful protest doesn't work, they need to expect more seriousness, and they will think that use violence can call more attention. Besides that, some people who have acts of violence actually not for the main reason of protest. They typically feel, like a professor said on the conservation that I have psychological differences. They typically feel dissatisfied with their society, so they want to use this courage to rule and destroy anything. Someone tied to politics, some teenager break and loot the store like a trend, or someone does that just for fun. According to an article, What Changed the Protest from Peaceful to Violent, published by CNN, throughout a survey, the author proves that the group of violence are not allied with the protest central cause. Even though violence is going to be ended, it leaves a lot of terrible effects that are reason we need to try to stop before a protest becomes a fight of violence. In the short term, we are easy to see that violence makes our work slower and inconvenient. Some curfews were enforced in some cities in the last month that make some business need to close. The store I have working also closed at 6 a.m. while it should last to 11 p.m. Moreover, it also affects people's mental life. We feel uncertainty when we read the news about some people block the traffic and break the car, and we're not sure whether we are next one when we are driving. Or we feel worried when we seeing the restaurant and the store around us are destroyed. I read an article on New York Times. A man from Iran was bleeding in hopeless when people start to break his store. He doesn't have insurance, so this story is on in his life. The ending of his store is also the ending of his life. This story shows the best how violence destroy a life. Although people just keep their minds to for something but forget that in the past there were many peaceful protests successfully that lead to change in our society. Based on an article published by the Global Citizen website, the first one is the protest named Service Parade in 1913. As the freedom for the women. As we can see in the result today, women now have the right to vote and equal political participation. The second one is the Delano Crab Boycott. It was a non-violent protest that ended in exploitative abuse of American farm workers in the late 1960s. The effect in the long term is to make people misunderstand the meaning and purpose of the protest. They suppose that violence and protest are the same and give a bad view for true protesters. Also, if we keep using violence, the next generation will believe that violence can solve any problem and do it easier. The process is to stop a problem and make the solution that society is facing, but the violence protest is leading to another issue. That is the big reason why violence protests cannot get the answer. Some solutions for that are policy needs to be stricter in people who have acts of violence. The government needs to give attention to a peaceful protest, raise awareness about the consequences of violence, and educate the students about violence. Today, we make clear the difference between the violence and protest. We can the effects of violence on our life, why a peaceful protest turn to violence, and how to solve this issue. Finally, protest is called attention as well as create an understanding of the problem to make the solution. Violence cannot make the voice of community and show the problem completely. That's all. Thank you for watching.